So what's happening here is that our wrapper here starts from here because this is the center. So it starts from here and then it ends there. But because we have these images inside that are protruding here, we are seeing this thing going this way. So the idea of the whole slider here is to have the images sitting like this, and then once we shift this this thing that's holding the images, we can shift it one at a time to the left to display a different image at this viewport right here. So the viewport will be reduced to just this area right here, and then as we shift the images one by one, a different image will be exposed to the viewport. So now to limit the viewport to this, all we have to do is use this slider container here, and that's why we put a container there. I'll copy this. So I will put the slider container here, and all I need to say is to tell it that any overflow should be hidden like this. So let me come back and refresh, and there you go. So you see, this is the basic idea. So we have this left side and this right side, which is this left, and then this right side, and then this is the slider container in the middle, okay, which is the viewport here. So maybe we should have named it that, but you get it. Then there's a div which has all the images inside, which are side by side. So as we slide this div left or right, we can expose different parts of the image. So for example, if I were to put, this is the slider right there. If I were to come here and say, okay, this is slider images, where is this? It's right there. So if I were to come here and just put a transform, so I'm going to say transform and tell it to translate in the x-axis, and I'll tell it, because now I know that my images are 400 pixels wide, so I'll just tell it to translate by minus 400 pixels, like so. I actually don't need to put that in there, and I'll refresh, and you'll see a different image this time. And then if I say 800 like that, you'll see a different image. Now if I were to remove the overflow hidden here, you will see exactly what's happening. There we go. So the images have shifted over this way, and each time there's a shift, it's exposing a different image. All right, so I hope the idea is clear here. So that's what we'll be doing all throughout here, just to try and get that to work. So the way we've set these things up, I should be able to increase the width of this. Okay, I think we'll leave it for there for now while we work on it. Now let's work on the left and the right side so that we can put some arrows here. Okay, so first of all, I will go to my font awesome here, and where is that? Right here. So wherever you got the font awesome, just come here, and what we are looking for here is if you're not sure about the icon that you want to get, just go to fontawesome.com and go to icons and type the icon that you want. The one I want is this one, chevron, circle, left and right. So let's come back to our folder. Let's just do a quick search there. So these circle left, circle right, and copy these guys. In fact, I don't really need to copy these guys per se. I don't want to use the SVG as an image. So normally I can copy this. Let me bring this to my folder, put it inside image like so, and I'll just copy the name. Just remember that it says SVG. So then on the left here, I can put an img like that, source img/.svg. So if I now come back to my refresh. Let me remove this black background because we don't need it no more. Refresh, and there we go. So you see it right there, but the problem is it's dark. So if you really want to change the color of this thing depending on your design, what you do is, instead of having to copy it to this folder, let's delete that. Let's come back to where we found it, and I will just drag and drop it inside my Sublime text. And as you can see, an SVG file is simply instructions on what to draw on the screen. So what I can do is just copy all this, come back to my index page. I can actually put it inline because it's kind of like HTML. So I'll remove this image here, enter like that, and paste my SVG there. So if I refresh, you will see no difference, but the advantage this time is that I can let me actually remove this. It's yeah, making things too long. I can also remove this part. No need for that. So what I can do is that inside this path, I can tell the path what color to assume. So I can say fill is equal to, and then I can maybe say red, for example, and when I refresh, you'll see that it changes to red. So I can give it a very specific color. So in this case, I just want it to be a slight gray. So let me try AAA like there, and that ought to do it. So there we go. That's what we needed. And I want the other side as well. So I will copy the right side into a file. And what I will do here is, just because I want to leave everything as it is, let me copy this, paste it here, paste, even though it's a different path. But what I can do now is just copy the D, from the D here, move along and up to there, copy, and let's replace the D so that the fill remains there. Back here, oops, here we go, and paste. Great. So refresh. Oops, why am I not seeing anything there? Slide that right. Oh, I hadn't saved, sorry about that. Okay, there we go. So now we have those two there, and I can close my files there. Pretty good. Okay, so let's just move them a bit lower, so you can style them as you want, as you wish. But let's let me give them a float here, just a tiny bit. So style is equal to float, and put left. So this one will float left, this one will float right. And then right there I will put just margin top. I will say 120 pixels. Shall we try that? Okay, pretty good. So it's up to you how you want to style these parts here. Styling is not really a big deal, so you can style it as you wish. Okay, so left and right. And one more thing I can actually add here is the cursor, and put a pointer like that, so that when somebody tries to do that, there's an arrow there like this. Okay, so now all we need is to be able to click and move things around. Okay, pretty good. Now, to do that, we will need to add some JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript time.